welcome to Misha and Crystal Do Reality Reviews. Hi, beautiful. How are you doing?
Great. How are
Crystal,
you?
by the way, sometimes I miss saying that. Go ahead.
Thank y'all for joining us today, and let's get into this Ready to Love
Ooh,
episode.
let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Let me share my screen because this is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a doozy, family. Hold on one second. Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Yeah, we starting off with Miss Courtney over here. So you go first, Misha. What did you think of these notes?
Like I said on my videos, I'm like, I didn't understand the whole thought process on putting paper notes around at a pool party where where like there's water, there's drinks,
Right.
there's food. Like it's so easy for them to get lost, damaged, like soaked up. I didn't understand that, like why it had to be there. We were on Kamisha Reviews, and I believe someone said it would have been better to do it like when they're like on a one-on-one level versus in a group setting. So I think he's definitely striking me as manipulative. I think it was definitely he used the group setting to his advantage because he knew she was gonna be like, where is this coming from? Who's doing this? And to like her getting that attention, I think he knew it pump her head up. So I feel like he was kind of using that against her. The cards weren't that special. As far as the words that were on there, I was like, I don't know what that's. There's nothing to be all googly eyed over that. But yeah, it was weird. It was corny, but
So, like you just said, one of the cards was saying, "I've never felt this way since." Wait, you're my first choice. Like, and so uh Tommy comes in and he says, "Hey, you guys, let's mix it up. We're gonna go. Let's have a good time. We're gonna do a pool party. All the ladies are excited, and she's walking around thinking like she is just like she's so excited because she's getting these. They have to be directed towards me because I'm finding them under my phone. I'm finding them everywhere, and everybody's like, I think it's Corey. I think it's Corey. I think it's Corey, but he's just corny because to me, why wouldn't you why wouldn't you wait till you had a one-on-one? Why would you do it now? Again, you just said it, these cards could get wet, they could get damaged, they could get, and he says like, I thought I'd make her feel special, and then when I have a one-on-one with Moomin, then I'll make her feel special. Stop. Just what are you doing? It's less special when you do that, like that. And so she's finding all these cards everywhere, and then she confronts him and she thinks it's the sweetest thing. She's like, oh my gosh, I love the fact that he tried to make me feel special and everything. And um then of course Moomin gets a call. So I just feel like, Corey, come on, you could have done better than that, bruh. So yeah, this leaving the cards everywhere. Yeah, we were in Kamisha Reviews, and he could have just done a better job of making her feel special. It's not, it takes away the specialness. I don't know if that's the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. When everybody sees it, it takes away the exclusivity when it's in front of everybody like that. And it just became very corny. So yeah, that was just it was, and we're gonna see what happens later on with these cards and everything. So Shiloh and Tyrone.
yes, I I was like, what in the crazy eye hell is going on here? Because how do you tell Carrie last week she is aggressive, but then you gonna stare Shiloh in her face after two conversations talking about she's meant to be your wife? And I'm like, what? And it was a bit much. I was wondering like what was his reasoning for thinking that this was his wife, and why, like I said on Kamisha Reviews, he just has like this little kid filter. You know, little kids, they don't know like what not to say in front of people. So they just go to school like, hey, you know, my mama wears a wig. My mama didn't pay the light bill this month. Um, my mama's phone got disconnected, and you know, my daddy's in jail. You know, they just go to school and they tell everything, and it's like, you know, I feel like that's what like Tyrone has, because we'll get into it later, but he's going to other people and telling them the same thing, and it's just like, why are you? Because at this point, this might be episode 5 for us, but in the filming process, it's probably barely been a week, maybe 3 or 4 days, who knows? But it can very much like they very much just met each other. So I'm like, Tyrone, like he just, he was doing too much too soon.
So I
Like,
agree.
here's the thing, like you can have that thought in your head, but it needs to stay there for a little bit longer. But
So
yes,
what you
go
said
ahead.
about so what you said about little kids is so funny. We always used to say that little kids are so honest. Like they'll they'll tell you everything that you don't need to know. And there is something called oversharing. We've said it with Mavs, like you just be oversharing, you just be telling too much too fast. So my thing is, so you're telling Shiloh this, but what was your motivation to tell Sabrina this? Because he basically he said, I think that you know, what did he say? You could be my girlfriend, but Shiloh's my wife, or whatever he said. You know, I like hanging out with you, I like having a conversation with you, but Shiloh's my wife. Why would you tell another woman that? Like, stop,
Yeah.
just stop. And so, yeah, he doesn't. He little kids don't have a filter, and he doesn't have a filter. And a lot of people were saying, and I hope nobody reams me for this. We were on Kamisha's channel, Kamisha Reviews, and some people were saying that he's on the spectrum and everything. I don't think that's it. I just think that he is a bad dater. He doesn't know. He doesn't have a filter. He's very awkward, and I think that he is so. It's when good intentions go very, very bad. Go very, very bad. So that's
What
what
I
I think.
want to add, because it just came to me, he is a military man. And you know,
Yes.
military men, they will marry you in 48 hours or less. So that I also want to add that in. Because them, you know, I have so many friends like, oh, I'm dating this military man. By the end of the month, we go into the courthouse to get married. I'm like, what? And so, yeah, I think his military background, his military background definitely like plays a part in the speed, I think. Because I think, first of all, Sabrina did a post on her Instagram basically saying he was telling her the same thing and saying that he wanted to marry her because she was Vietnamese and he always wanted a Vietnamese wife and all this stuff. Or is she Korean? I forgot what nationality, but whatever her nationality is, that's what he wanted to marry. So I think this is what he does. Like, I don't know, it's maybe he can't snap out of the military like behaviors, but yes, I think that plays a big part as well.
Well, now there's two things. Well, one, you totally brought me back because you know you and I have from California. We know that military thing. That is absolutely everyone in the chat. Very true. Men in the military, they will marry you after 6 months. That's very true, whether they want to check or not.
It don't
But,
have to be
but
6 months.
it doesn't
It
have to
could
be
be
six
two
months.
days.
Yeah,
They,
but
I don't know, maybe they
it's
need
like
some new
they're like,
shoes and they
let's
trying to
slow down,
speed it
let's
up.
get it done. That's one. And then two, Misha, men in the military, especially if they've had years in the military, it is very hard for them to mentally get out of the military. Like my father, like even after he got out of the military, we just be walking through a store, then all of a sudden it's like repetitive. He'd start marching. He's like, and he'd have to like do something to stop himself from doing it. It's the weirdest thing. So that is very, very true. I don't think that he's on the spectrum, but I think that it's hard for them to get out of that mindset, of that military mindset. I totally believe that. I totally agree with that. Um, and so that's hard when you have somebody like Shiloh who is really trying to get to know everybody. And she's somebody that's more, I was about to say on the sensitive side. She's not sensitive, but uh, she believes, I actually think that she's probably somebody that believes in like, people say that they're like an empath or something like that. She's a, what do you call it, an intimacy coach. So she's that type of person, and she really wants to get to know him. Um, what's the other guy? Phil. And she was just trying to be a part of the process. And I feel like you said, it's only been 2 weeks, I think. Maybe 2 weeks. So also, let's talk about this. He did the same thing to Carrie. He went overboard with Carrie. He was like, "You're moving too fast." He made assumptions where Carrie was concerned that weren't there. I think that he said that Carrie was moving too fast, and he was making assumptions on her, what she was moving or what she thought based on nothing. So I just thought that was kind of funny too. Yeah. So who is this? The yes, I thought that I knew this was. Go ahead. So what do you think about this conversation he had with Sabrina? And I really like Sabrina. Sabrina, I hope you come on the
Yeah,
show and talk to Misha and I, because you
hmm
and I love her clothing line. So go ahead.
yeah, I agree. I like Sabrina. I love that she keeps it real, because she was just like, she even put on her Instagram, like, because I heard some people saying like she was salty in the deliberation, that he basically in a sense chose Shiloh over her, and I don't really think so. I think she was kind of where we're at. Like, that's not what you say. Like, you don't you don't need to come to me and tell me that. And I think some people are a little foggy as far as this is a dating show. It's somewhat like a game. You still need to have your chess pieces and play this game.
Yes.
So, okay, Camille, you like Cornelius, but if you want to stay on the show, you got to play the game. So you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Tyrone, you dating more than three women at a time is over capacity for you. I get it, but this show probably wasn't for you. Again, you know in your heart and your mind that you like Shiloh more. You don't need to go in Sabrina's face and tell her. Like, we had
Right.
Joy, like season 3, Joy. She knew Jay was her number one, but she still entertained Edwin. She
Hmm.
knew that. But it was, there was still like, she still went through the process. And some of these people, it's like, I don't know what they're thinking or what they thought this show was, but it's like they're not just going through the process. Like, I don't know if he thought Shiloh was just, because if you think you're supposed to marry Shiloh, then why would they keep you on the show?
After 2 weeks,
Yes.
why would you
We don't
say
know how, it could have been 40, 72 hours for all we know.
you're right?
But why, like, why would they? I don't think he was thinking it through. I don't think this setting is necessarily for him. But yeah.
I agree. I don't think that this was the right setting for him. I do think that hopefully that he's learned from the way he moved in this setting when he had several women for him to get to know. Um,
Mhm.
and I appreciate the way Sabrina talked to him. Excuse me. I appreciate the way Sabrina said, everybody's trying to get to know you, and you just really just came up and you put all your eggs in this one basket. And I feel like Sabrina was saying, I'm not even talking about me. I'm talking about just maybe this is not the way you should be doing things. I don't think
Right.
she was saying I'm salty. She's like, but what's interesting is she basically basically became a counselor. And I think that, and I think, was it
Yes.
you or someone else that said, where Tyrone is concerned, a lot of women will become a counselor or
But a lot of women have. I think what Aisha said, she had to counsel him too. Like it turned into a counseling session. Like, oh, you like her? Well, go after her. Do this, do that. So I feel like
Mhm.
I don't know if there's more women that said the same thing, but I feel like that's what's happened in this sense.
Oh
Like
God.
these women are just like they have to almost like nurture him and lead him, and it's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
And it's hard when one thing if you're become a nurturer later in the relationship, but when you become a nurturer from the very beginning, from the get go, um, you become a nurturer, a counselor. You stop, getting to know him, and that's you've put your place. That's your role in the relationship, and that's kind of difficult, especially in this setting. Okay, so you start first.
Yeah, she was hella disrespectful. Let's just say that. You know, calling him a country bumpkin and you dumb, blah blah blah. She crossed the line.
She crossed
And
several
she
lines.
went on her Instagram saying that she knows she crossed the line. She's apologized to him. Now she's apologizing publicly since it's aired. And it's weird, it's very odd to me, like the possessiveness that has taken place in such a short amount of time. Like even in this scene when she said you can't have your cake and eat it too, and he ran right behind her. No, 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 that's not what I'm trying to do. And I'm like, what is going on here? What is happening here? So a lot of people don't believe they've done anything sexual or anything of that sort, but something has happened where they've crossed that line of certain things have been crossed, certain barriers have been crossed, in my opinion. I don't know what. I don't know if it was emotionally, physically, mentally, I don't know. But it doesn't fully make sense the way she's acting towards him. The fact that she said they had a conversation about their boundaries and respect. Are y'all in a relationship? Like, so it's weird. It's just weird overall when people come on the show and they're like, I like you like me, that's it, no one else. And it does, like, why would you there's no reason for you to even stay on the show. So yeah, I want Cornelius to boss up on Camille one time. Like I feel like there's so many discussion on female self-worth and a woman knowing who she is and what she stands for. No, but this time Cornelius, you need to know what you stand for, because she is disrespecting you in your face and all you can do is laugh and joke and like act like it's a joke. No, she was literally disrespecting you. So I think I just want him to boss up on her, put her in her place, and let her know, like, I'm going to date other people. You need to be okay with that, because as a man in the relationship, he should be able to lead. And so, yeah, I just wish he would do something, because this ain't it. I don't like the way she's treating him, and I believe, as her Instagram shows, she took accountability for it. But at the same time, he got some accountability in this as well.
Okay, so I'm actually going to go back to the beginning, and I do me a favor and throw up AW's comment here. So the from the beginning, before the country bumpkin and the country bumpkin dumbass and the mocking. See when they're sitting in the this little papasan chair and everything, and she's trying to be all flirty and say, "Oh, we're matching and everything." Um, then the new girl comes in, Sydney, and she immediately gets nervous, and she immediately her self-esteem, oh, he's going to be attracted to that. So the self-esteem issues were just shining, right? And then she goes to Moomin, who looks like they're good friends. And Moomin says, "Calm down," and just like bring it down, and she's like, "What do you mean, calm my emotions down?" She said, "Yeah, like relax." And so she was already on 10. She was already, "Oh, did you have a good time? You have a good conversation?" She's like, "I had good conversations with a lot of people." "Yeah, I know you did." And it was, and then she calls him a country bumpkin, a dumbass. And I was like, you're really literally calling this man stupid. You're calling him, you're basically, I think that she was emasculating him. And and then he's like, "You can't have your cake and eat it too." Immediately, I said, "Did they sleep together? Or if they didn't sleep together, did they do something?" So when I look at AW's comment, I had a conversation with some of the men, and they were like, "It doesn't matter." And you're right, it doesn't matter if they slept together or not. That she's emasculating him. But to me, I was saying, they were talking about, what was it, at the skating ring, that they're FaceTiming with the shirts off, right? And they were, and I said, "Well, is she leading him on?" Some of the guys were saying, "You know what? If I walk around the house with my shirt off, it's my house, and then I FaceTime with somebody, that shouldn't give her the impression that she can talk to me any kind of way." True. Excuse me. So her having the impression that she can talk to him any kind of way, uh, that's not right. And her thinking that and just basically emasculating him. She basically called him an inept, like he's a dog chasing after a bone. I was like, you need to just stop. Like, stop. And then she starts crying afterwards. I said, "You literally met and manipulated this man." And I'll be honest with you, it's almost like that was like, what's her name, Michaela, on 100 instead of 200. She blows up, calls him everything under the sun, and then sits there and says, "I didn't do anything wrong. There's no evidence to prove that I did anything wrong." I'm like, are you kidding me? And so to me, he held it because the right way, because if he, as a leader, like you said, men should be a leader. If he had come back at her and said, "How dare you call me that," and call her out her name in rebuttal, then people would be like, "How dare you talk to our black queens like that?" So he held it, he smiled, but I truly believe it affected him. It affected him, even though he smiled and he was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all." He put that in the back of his head and he's like, "Okay, that's going to be the last time she talks to me like that. I may not be able to react right now at this pool party, but there will be a reaction." So then later on, and we're going to get to the next scene, which the apology scene. But to me, he's clocking things, because even he's just having a conversation with the new girl
So
sitting
I just want to say their body language. Look at how his hand is resting on that thigh.
over her
Like
thigh.
they
Yes.
look like they didn't had a Netflix and chill session before they got here.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean anything sexual. I'm just saying they've maybe cuddled
Very
before or
comfortable.
been in that type of environment before. So, yeah, I just think that if a woman is already showing these possessive, controlling signs, you don't you don't push it forward by breaking boundaries and going like I'm glad they had that discussion about boundaries, but it sounds like they were already crossed, and maybe that was the need for the
Right.
conversation.
That's why I'm like, what was this conversation about boundaries? What was this? Because they're still on the show. Like I said, this is a conversation about boundaries. So you already crossed the boundary and you need to bring it back. Yeah, they've known each other for 2 weeks. This is AW. They've known each other for 2 weeks, and he's entertaining this behavior because he likes how she looks. He's not a victim. I don't think he's. I so, and we had this conversation. We don't know. I don't know if we have enough time to talk, have this full conversation about pretty privilege. But men, like, if they know how they like how she looks, then they'll let her get away with this a little more. I don't know. I don't know that this is pretty privilege. I do believe that pretty privilege exists, AW. So let me get that straight. It does exist. And he is attracted to her. But my question is, when does it stop? When is he going to stop entertaining this? That's what I want to know. When is he going to back up? Because he's let her know, you are my top. You are the one I'm most interested in, but I do want to get to know other people. But but she was doing this since the beginning, is my point. Like, even I feel like it was at the cocktail party, the first night of the cocktail party, he was going to get Courtney some water. Oh, you're going to get Courtney some water? At the skating rink. Why are you looking over there at them? Like, it's constant. Sydney comes. Oh, look at him over there. So he's like, I'm afraid that what's her name, Camille, is feeling like this while I'm just talking to Sydney. Like, you know what? Cornelius, I think that he's the type of guy, he appreciates the fact that she's interested. That's great. But you really need to, sometimes you gotta feed some people, you gotta feed with a long handle spoon, as my country mother would say. So this is gonna be very interesting coming up next week, y'all. Sydney comes. What did you think of Miss Sydney?
She's pretty. She's bomb. Like I said before, she's got, as far as outer appearance, she's got like the whole package going on. Very bubbly. So I think she will make a lot of connections with the men. But I kind of feel like she might be like Aisha as far as the wanting to be flued out and that type of stuff. And I just don't feel like that type of guy is there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with her.
I think that men are getting the impression that that's the type of person she is, but sometimes people have that impression, but they are the type of women that want you to stay and put in the work. How old did she say she was? 32 or 34?
Somewhere in there. I don't remember.
32 or 34. And she wants to make connections, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna see how these connections are gonna be playing out, because I'm not sure. I'm more sure of Sean's role, or the role he wants, than her. I have not really seen, and she knows, what's his name? Frank, from the scene, from the nightlife scene, quote unquote, the nightlife. Nightlife. Okay, so y'all, what happens is a PA stands at the door and checks you out before you go on camera, and make sure that you are camera ready. Okay, so there was a PA. I am convinced of it, that went like this to his shirt and opened the door, and the door swung open before he hit them stairs. There, and because his shirt stayed like that.
It stayed blowing even even when he was done walking. I was like, why is his shirt still blowing in the wind? They were definitely trying to give him like this Morris Chestnut flair, but for me it was giving Morris Cashew. It wasn't fully a chestnut. It was, it was them 2 for 99 cent pack of cashew. That's what it was given for me. Yeah,
He's nowhere near.
I just I don't see nothing there.
Maybe there's some Velcro. There's also could be some double-sided tape on the other side of his shirt. That's also something else that could be happening. Because when I tell y'all the tricks of the trade, there's something there. There's no way, because he's standing there and that shirt was not moving. There could be double-sided tape or Velcro or something right here on each side of his shirt, because that shirt would stay just blown in the wind. Yeah, Morris Peanut. Is what did you just call it? Morris Morris No Nut. He's not Morris Chestnut. Morris Peanut, not sexy, and he's a homosexual. We about to get into that. So I didn't count every one of them, but And I think it was High Vibes who was like, yo, we got to count how many times the ticker changes his title, his career. So he walked in, the ticker said journalist. He said, I'm a creative. He said, I'm a writer and I'm an actor. But the ladies clocked it. What's her name?
Yep, they caught it. They definitely caught it.
They caught it. They said, okay, what do you do? What do you know? And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
opposed, y'all know I'm not opposed to somebody being a creative. I'm not opposed to somebody, being a writer and stuff like that. Our good friend, Miss Kia Simone, is in the chat, and she is a writer. She has published books. So, but this man said, I'm a writer. Then he said, I'm an actor. Then he said, I'm a creative. His ticker said journalist. So I wonder how many times. So Kia says she's not feeling him. I actually liked his conversation with Aisha. I think that he said he's 44. He wants kids. He's looked like he wants 2.5 kids in a white picket fence. So I appreciated their conversation. I don't know who he would connect with unless he connects with maybe Tasia, which I don't see that happening. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because she's 33 and that's 11 years older. Who else? What other women don't have kids? Aisha? No, I'm sorry, Aisha. Shiloh? Shiloh's around the same age as Tasia.
Yeah.
What are the
I
ladies?
thought Sabrina, but I think she's done with kids.
Serena
I
is
don't
very,
know,
very clearly that says she
but
does
I
not want kids.
really want to see him on a date with Sabrina because I feel like she's gonna pull what we need to see from him. Like I
Yes.
think she'll be able to keep it real and pull like she called a lot of men out. So whatever it is, because there's something that I'm not connecting with him. So I feel like Sabrina will be able to resolve that.
I agree. Sabrina does not suffer fools. She does not suffer fools well. So Sabrina would be able to call out the BS. Even if he is a creative and that is his bread and butter and that's what he does. Great. I'm here for it. But at the same time, Sabrina doesn't want kids anymore. She's already got an 8-year-old. She's 45, he's 44. Who else would be there for him? I don't even remember any of the other ladies. I'm gonna be honest with you. Camille would eat him alive. Camille would
No,
eat.
she already told. He tried to have a basic conversation with her,
Camille said, "I'm going to
and
my boyfriend
she
wouldn't
was
like
like,
that."
"I already got a boo. My boo. You'll meet him later." And I was like, "Okay, girl." Like,
No, he does not have a six pack. He has a beard
and
belly.
Camille said she wanted a man with 6 figures. So I don't
He
think
did.
that's in his lane. So
No, no. Who else? Because I don't see anybody else that would be
mhm.
for him. The funny thing is, maybe Carrie. Where's she gone? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
Camille. I
okay.
think
So
Moomin will.
yeah,
Let me stop. But I think Moomin will definitely give him a chance.
yes, I think Moomin would give him a chance. Moomin and Naeem are supposed to be trying to link, but Moomin would give him a chance, and maybe Zadia. I don't think
Yeah,
Moomin can
I
see.
agree with AW
Yeah,
because those are the go with the flow. They not gonna
yeah.
question nothing. They gonna just go on a date and smile. And so yeah, I definitely
Camille
think
called him bro. Camille
she
was
called him
like,
Tommy. She said it's Tommy from Martin.
she sure did. But you know what's funny is, I think he looks more like Tommy.
He definitely looks a lot more like Tommy for
Yeah,
sure.
he definitely looks more like Tommy. So I want to see him on a date with like maybe a Zadia. So here's his date with Shiloh. I thought this date was very
No, that's not.
transparent.
That's Sean and Aisha
What did I
at
say? I
the
said
pool
Zadia.
after the
I'm
pool
sorry.
party. This
That's
isn't their date
Aisha.
yet.
That's Aisha. I'm so sorry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, please don't get on Aisha's hairline. Let's just stick with the conversation. So I like their conversation. He was like, this was really intriguing. This really not intriguing. He said this was really encouraging. He really liked getting to know her. as a person, Aisha, I think that people are kind of taken off guard by the tattoos and the look, but I think that she is very much has some character to her, and
Yeah.
and and I liked him taking. Did you get the date? I liked their date. I liked how
Yeah,
he.
we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. But I liked their conversation. Um,
Hmm.
it was very much a get to know you conversation, and this is where I got the impression that he had a little bit more substance. He really wanted more than just a hookup. So yeah, her personality is genuine. High vibes. Her personality is genuine. She's from NYC. So yeah, I like Aisha.
Yeah.
Is this Frank? This is Frank, right?
Yes, this is
The beards,
Frank
the beards, the
staring
beards
at
confuse me.
Aisha and Sean eavesdropping on their conversation. And I was like, this man is such a hypocrite. Like, it's so typical of a man to be like, I can date whoever, but you better sit over there and knit. So I didn't
Not
like
lit.
how in his confessional he's like questioning their connection simply because she's having a conversation with another man. I thought he was doing too much because we see next episode he's having a date. Wait, he had a date with Tasia. He's having a date with Moomin on this next episode. So I just don't understand where he gets off questioning Aisha because
Houseway AW Frank reminds you of Jose? Does Frank remind you
maybe
of
it's the
Jose?
beard.
We
I
should
don't.
be
His
we should be
features. I
looking
don't
at
know.
it.
They both petite,
They both
but
there you go.
uh,
Not
but
petite.
yeah, I just didn't like that he's like, Aisha needs to prove that she is still interested in me and that I'm still. I was like, no, she don't. This is a show. This is a process. So don't do that. Don't put that on her. Don't do that, especially
Right.
when they are showing us multiple dates you're going on with other women. So
Yeah, I
like
agree. I agree also, AW.
the
It's the
mouth.
mouth.
Oh, the
It's the
chap
mouth.
lip, the chap
It is
mouth.
the whole, like, right up in here. He reminds me of Jose.
I think
But
it's the dry mouth. That's what she's
yeah,
talking about, Jose, like the beer. And yeah, I'm like, why don't y'all carry Carmex? If you know your lips is prone to being dry, just get some Carmex.
I don't get it. Carmex is like this big. Just carry little Carmex.
Right.
Mhm. But he does look like a lost puppy standing here looking at other people's dates. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yes, he was snooping. I was like, how insecure are you? He was
right.
standing there looking, screwing his face up. I was like, child.
That's not hard to do for Frank. That's not hard to do. Oops, I went back too far. Sorry. Hold on a second. Okay. I need to pray, y'all. Pray for Kristen. Go ahead, you start.
This was funny to me because first of all, I don't, like I've been saying this whole time we've been up here, I don't understand the questioning or the, like, this is a process. You're supposed to be dating other people. I don't think it was really necessary to question him about the cards, but however she did. And I think, like, if you understand this is a process, this is a show, just tell her, yes, I did that because I have interest in her as well. The whole did you see me doing that? I was like, oh no. See, he would have got punched right in that left eye if he, because you're not about to play in my face. Like, y'all are too old to be sitting there trying to do a whole did you see me? Did you hear? So you believe what other people? I'm like, this is stuff I was hearing in my early 20s dating from men. So the fact that I don't can't remember, he might be over 40. The fact that he is doing like these type of like immature things and answering a question with a question, it was very irritating. I was irritated for her. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I said this before. He's a Kappa, I think, and he's 40. I think he still thinks he's in college, and you could
Mhm.
tell by the way he his double talk. And you're right. I don't think that, and she even said, I don't mind him doing that, but I think that you're trying to make me feel special and you're trying to make her feel special. It's the way he went about it. And it was my issue was him saying, I want you to meet my parents. Stop. Like if you're not sure about something, and I said your mother is probably used to you doing stuff like this, bringing like
Mhm.
one woman on Sunday and then another woman on Tuesday. Like, at age 40, excuse me, stop with the double talk. Stop with the, oh, well, did you see me do it? Just say, yes, I did put notes. So I thought, I'm really attracted to Courtney, but I'm very attracted to you too. And I really want to get to know you both. But his double talk, and she said, Courtney, I know how close you are with your family, so you wouldn't take that lightly. But are you asking other women to do the same thing? And then he's like, just stick with us. And he said, he should just been on it. One, he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have said, I want both of y'all to meet my family. But two, stop with the double talk. Just say, yes, I'm the one that put the notes down everywhere. I thought it was a cute gesture, and I really wanted her to feel special and to let her know that I was thinking about her. But I'm also interested in you. He's still acting like a kid and then wondering why he's still single. Stop it. And the way he's moving is very problematic. Like, at least, okay, so let's go back to I don't think he was really super interested in women. Like, let's go back to the pool party. They were having a conversation about the hot dog and everything. I think that to me, women was kind of his second choice. That's what impression I got.
Moomin was the only one that took a bite of the apple in the
Say
Garden of
that. Say
Eden.
that.
That's what happened. She was the only one that was biting back. Like she's the reason why he even got to stay in an extra episode because everybody was through with him.
Yes.
So I think he played on the fact that she gave in to that little tire thing and she was holding that like it was like a World Series trophy. Like you can tell she just wasn't not like used to nice treatment. So yeah, I definitely don't think she was his first choice. Like he made it clear Sabrina, Courtney, those were like the two that he was like most attracted to. So I think yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think she was up there as far as who he likes.
And the sad thing is, played that knight in shining armor. He needs to stick to women that he does this knight in shining armor thing to, so they can remember the good side of him. But when you do all of these the double talking and all these different gestures, all of that other stuff cancels out. So, and then you just look sorry. Okay. Uh, First, this is Dante, right? I keep calling people call him Dante, but it's Dante and Sydney. So he talked to her about the three kids, but the three different women. And I don't remember her conversation. Go ahead. What did you think of the sitting in the balls?
I kind of felt like from this conversation, she just trying to stay in the game at this point. She just wanted to want to be eliminated on her first day. That's what it was giving me because I don't see nothing there with Dante, even with his other connections with other women. So I don't see it. So even when she sat down at the deliberation and said Dante was one of her connections, I felt like she just wanted to make a connection with someone to stay in the game, just to say like I think she knows he likes her like that. I think he showed on this date that he's very interested in her. So I think she's just using him until she can get a date with somebody else. That's what I think. But
I actually agree with that. I didn't see any type of connection. This really did look like a friendly conversation. It didn't look like anything more than that. And I don't see this going anywhere. And I agree. I think that she just did not want to get eliminated. I just like, I don't understand where this is going. And she said she invited Dante, and then of course she said she invited Cornelius and Camille. I don't
It
know
was
about
just
that.
giving very much representative because he sat there and said he got three baby mamas, and she's like, "Oh wow, how amazing! That's
Right.
fantastic!" Like, girl, you ain't even listening.
You're not
I
you
don't know. Like, I think she was just trying to secure her spot to the next episode. So yeah, that's what I got from this date.
I agree. I was like, you didn't hear a word he said. She's like, that's amazing. No, it's not. Oh Lord. Okay. So so you go ahead and go first. Because
It's
y'all.
giving very much some high school, college couple. Like, why she got that man hat on? But it's ridiculous. I guess this was her apology to him. I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah, like I said before, he's got to put his foot down with her and let her know what it is and the type of treatment he wants. But yeah, that's all I got from the scene. I don't know if I really believed her apology. I think I don't know. I think she has to be used to this behavior, doing this behavior. So I think she knows, okay, here's the part where I apologize. That's what it was giving. Here's the part where I'm supposed to say sorry so we can move forward.
So y'all, I have a question. I have a question for you, Misha. So I'll go over the scene first. But he reassured her in this scene. He said, I just want to let you know that you are my top. I do want to get to know everyone else, but I really like you and all of this stuff. So he put all the reassurance on her. He walked in with that hat, and then she sits there to put the hat on her head and everything. I really think that this was kind of like a last minute addition, because you see how she's dressed in this double breasted jacket, and then the other two were dressed. I was like, I don't get this scene. I don't get this. Like, I didn't get. I was like, did y'all ask Camille at the last minute because you needed her to clarify what she did earlier? Um, but besides that, we know that she's got three engagements. But no nuptials. You know that she calls herself the Black Widow. So I'm asking y'all in the chat, the way she acted towards Cornelius, is this the reason why the three engagement and no actual nuptials? Is it her being the Black Widow, or are these guys? Go ahead.
From what she said, she played games. So I feel like this is a part of her game. Like, I think she
True.
plays the overly aggressive, possessive woman because there's some dudes that feed into the crazy girlfriend. They like the crazy girl. They like that. So I think it might, like, I don't know if it's 100% an act, but I feel like this is what she did before. Like, this is why it was a game, because she really didn't feel that way. But she
That's
would
what I'm
play
saying.
into this game, and then, like, from what she said, she was the one calling it off. She called off the engagement.
And that's
So
where I call foul. That's why I asked the question, because she's saying that she called it off, but I think that like she does this thing where she goes all in, and she's all in and all about this guy, and then she's done. Like, she has these blow ups and it fizzles out. Like we asked the same question about Michaela. Like, they just moved. Then she's like, two of my exes moved away. They just moved away. Like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like things that make you say, I just think there's something more there. I think, yes, she's the black, like, she's called herself the Black Widow. She's had three engagements and no marriage. She plays a lot of games, and she's the type that goes all in, full force, love bombs you, and then drops you like a hot potato.
what about this? that AW said the three other guys didn't know that they were engaged.
Yeah.
And this is what the women were kind of saying on Kamisha Review's panel, that their whole conversation about rules and boundaries and respect, that was just Camille talking. That wasn't he. That was her setting the boundaries and respect and stuff. But I think it's really the men have a level of accountability too. Like when a woman gets played, when a woman gets manipulated, well, you stayed, well, you did. It's like, so the same rules apply for Cornelius. You have a level of accountability, sir, where you need to speak
Yes
up.
and no. Or has she totally over exaggerated, like AW said, that they didn't know that they were engaged? Has she totally in her head,
So you think
like,
they're fake engagements?
yeah, like in her head, that's my boyfriend. She said that's my boyfriend at the cocktail party the first night. And he's like, I'm just getting to know you, girl. Like, maybe like to me, like it seems like Cornelius is, yes, he's having these conversations but he's meeting everybody. He's wanting to be a part of the experience. Maybe these guys were like, she said, I got a boyfriend. And I was like, do you? The first cocktail party, I was like, do you? So I think that maybe in her head, she was engaged. I don't know. That was like, 3 engagements. That's interesting.
Okay.
That's what I that's why I asked the question. What do you guys think? And I do see your point that that at what point, that's why I was asking the guys last night on my show. I said, at what point do you stop entertaining it? So that's what I'm asking about Cornelius. At what point do you ask the guys to stop entertaining it? But I don't want to say that these guys, oh well, that's what we do to female abuse victims. That's what we do to female abuse victims. That, well, why did you stay? No.
Right.
So I don't want to say that. I think that, in her head, she was engaged, but in these guys' head, like it was a cocktail party. So she doesn't take her time to really get to know the guy. She falls fast, and then by the time they get engaged, she realizes she doesn't really like them. That's exactly what I'm saying, Chloe. That is literally exactly what I'm saying. Like she gets, what's it called, infatuation, and infatuation to her is love, and she goes overboard so fast. And then next thing, and the guy, before he even knows it, he's engaged, and she's got him walking down the aisle. Okay. So,
I'll
Sean,
go because
go ahead. You go first. I love to say
he
you go first.
walked in, like the vibe it was giving, like production handed him the flowers and a note card. This is her zodiac sign. This is it. Say this. Like, I don't fully believe that these flowers were from him or it was his idea or any of that. I kind of felt like it was, I don't know. That's just what I felt when they first sat down, when he came in with them. But like, I like Aisha. She's very honest. She's very upfront. And like it was a good date, and they came to the conclusion, I don't want kids, you want kids. Probably not a good match. So I felt like it is what it is. I did like their conversation. I'm just, like I said before, I haven't fully, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Sean. I haven't picked it up like exactly what it is, but I have my eye on him. I just, yeah. So it was a good date, but Aisha knows what she wants, and that's not it. Like she said before, she trying to get flued out. She she not trying to have no other baby right now. So yeah, it was what it was.
I think that this is what a first date should look like. And even if the production did give him these flowers, he actually took the time to ask, okay, what the 3 flowers mean, even if he got the flowers. He got the flowers, but I guess this was the next day, even if this was 2 days later, he remembered her zodiac sign, or even if production said, hey, she's a Gemini. So whatever it was, this is the first date. This is what I'd like to see on a first date. that even if you come to the conclusion that we're not a match, you have these open and honest conversations because they
Mhm.
say that there's a connection here, but I don't think that I'm the one for you. So and of course Aisha, her being in a different stage in her life, she doesn't want to take away him having kids. So because that's off the table for her. So at least they had an open and honest conversation. So I really appreciated that. He's like, I really
Yeah.
like her, but she's not the one for me, and vice versa. So I do, and I like the fact that he got he went the extra mile and brought her flowers. Excuse me. Even if production was the one to give her the flowers, the extra consideration was very sweet. And he was like, the flowers smell good too. Like I liked him. Now we'll see later on in the show if he starts to act up. But right now, I like the way he's moving in the show. Go ahead, Misha.
I I want to ask a question. I don't think I can. I was gonna do a poll, but never mind. But I wanted to ask a question. How do you think getting flowers on a first date is corny? Do you think it's like, what do you feel like? I do like flowers. I just feel like when the connection hasn't been made yet, like say you're going on a first date and you really don't know this person yet, to me, I think, I don't know, I'm not against it, but I'm not all the way there for it. I do like the gesture of giving a woman flowers, but I think before you've actually made a connection with someone, what are you really saying? Are you saying like, I appreciate you taking the time to come here? Or what do the
Right.
flowers really mean at
I
that
think it's a sweet gesture because it's just that. It's a gesture. It's not, I want to be intimate with you. It's not the extra mile. Flowers are the beginning. Flowers are a woman. I think you're feminine. I think it's it's a sweet gesture. It's an get to know you entrance.
point?
Um, I like it. And I think it's a sweet gesture. It's not corny to me.
Okay.
Now, if we'd been dating for a year and you got me flowers and that was it, then we'd have to talk about. But like a first date, I'm like, yeah, he got her flowers. Like it's nice, and there are different degrees of flowers. There's orchids. There's different things, but nice flowers, that's sweet. That's
Aw.
the first gesture. My husband, when we started dating, gave me a single rose every day for the first 3 months, starting at our first date. That's really sweet. Like he thought about it. And some people are like, oh, well, those are grocery store flowers or something like that. Honestly, hey,
Maybe Corey. I think Corey made it corny on the show. Maybe that's what it was. When he gave those flowers to Courtney, I thought it was corny. But maybe different person, different scenario is different. But I
it's
also
sincere.
want
It's
to
sincere.
add the
Mhm.
comment he made. She's been through a lot, but she's still smiling. I like that. Did you, I don't know, I kind of picked up like, is he like, oh, you can take a lot, I'm about to take you through some more stuff. I don't know if like that's what I was kind of sort of picking up on, that comment that he made about like, oh, you're smiling, blah blah blah. But I don't know what it is about Sean. It's something
There's
that's
something
like
about
holding
Sean
me
you
back
don't like
from
that you're
liking him.
suspicious
I don't
about.
know. I'm trying to pick it up, but I don't know what it
Huh.
is about
Well,
him.
there's something about the other guy, the one that his wife died, that I'm very suspicious about. But what's his name? I don't remember his name. But
Who?
the guy whose wife died,
Not Martell. Walter.
Walter, that I'm a little suspicious about. But I like Sean. I think I don't dislike him yet. If I'm wrong, like I said, it's early. He just got here. I think this was a sweet gesture, especially just getting to know you. He was like, he really encouraged. He made sure and asked her out on a date. And uh Carrington came with nothing. And and so
Are we?
this shows this shows his
You're right,
intention.
Chloe.
This shows Who's the yeah, this shows Sean's intention that I'm really intentional about getting to know you and seeing where this goes, and I really like you as a person. You know, so I didn't have a problem with the flowers. I like flowers. I like flowers on a first date. And so what happened?
Huh?
Girl, you don't trust nobody. I know. I'm like, Misha, what is that? I don't.
Listen, I be having my detective
You
trench
do.
coat, my magnifying glass, my glasses, my notepad. Listen,
No, I got you. No, I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Not on Sean just yet, but just like Joel. Last season with Joel, I said, there's something about Joel. I'm not feeling it. So just like Walter, so
yeah,
this
like I High
was,
Vibe picked up what I was saying. Like, you can't. I know, like, women, we've been through things, but you can't. I don't know. You can't always divulge that with certain men because they'll use that against you. I
true.
don't know if he was, but that's what I was picking up. Like, is he one of those dudes that's like, okay, you've been through some stuff. Now I'm about to take you through some more. I don't know.
True. No, I totally agree. You can't totally give, like I said, this oversharing. You don't tell a guy all the skeletons in your closet on the first date. You just or hell, even the third date. You piecemeal that stuff. So I get that. I get that. So this was the deliberation for the ladies. This was Aisha talking about Mr. Tyrone. Courtney was so excited about these note cards from Corey. And she was like, he's so sweet. He did all these extra gestures for me. Oh, Corey, oh, Corey, oh, Corey. And then Moomin just literally bursted her bubble. I don't know if bursted is his word, but oh, this one, I got to. Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
What happened?
You don't see Camille's face.
She's smiling. It's like a weird smile, but she's smiling.
That's a smile. Okay. Okay.
I put this in there because when she made that Tommy comment, I was rolling on the
Well,
floor.
no. Yeah. Well, you don't got no job. Like you were an actor. He said I create. So author Kia Simone on her Instagram, it says author Kia Simone, as a producer Crystal Sanford, content creator Misha Allen Beauty. Like we really want, if that's what you do, if that is your title, if that's what you do, great. We're not knocking that, but I create. What do you create? So for him to say I create, and then he says I'm a writer and an actor, okay, say that. And then but then on his sticker it said journalist. So yeah, Camille was like, he ain't got no job. He ain't got no job.
Right.
Camille is a teacher, right? She's an acting
Yes.
teacher. And then Zadia, she's a workout, she's
A trainer of some
trainer.
sort.
Right. Sabrina is a fashion designer and stylist. I don't know what Courtney does. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what Courtney does.
I think she's an entrepreneur or something. But so like all of them are. But
She's an entrepreneur.
I don't know what.
does she
But I
promote?
think I don't know. I'm guessing. I think that's what her title said.
Okay, Kia knows we got that from Ida. Ida said a couple weeks ago, what does she preneur? What does she preneur? And Aisha, she owns a hair salon, and then she's an intimacy coach. Pregnant pause, and so yeah, she says, well, what does he do? He creates. So is this the next thing? Okay.
So this is when Courtney and Moomin, they realize that Corey is telling them the same thing about meeting the mom and the dad. He's telling both of them that they're number one. But I thought Sabrina's face was hilarious.
I actually think that to see his face is so funny. Like she's just, I don't even think she's look. I think she's
She don't look all the way there. Even
no.
I've
That's what I'm saying.
noticed when
She's looking
Sid,
at the
like, she don't seem
camera.
all the way present. Like, she always seemed like her mind is somewhere else. Like, even when Sydney came out, she started clapping, and then I think something like clicked, like the light switch went on in her brain. She like, oh, she's a new, like, she was clapping, and she was like, oh, then she stopped clapping. So I think like I don't know if she be paying attention. I don't know, but
I think the camera, they just edited that wrong, and the camera got her clapping at a different scene. But I actually think that she's looking over to the side camera, or she's looking at something over that's off camera right now. It's just weird. So this is when I was about to say Zadia, but it's Moomin is telling her, telling the story about. I keep doing that. I just this face this keeps cracking
I
me up.
don't see nothing wrong with it. But okay.
Okay. Oh, look at
Let's get into this though, because you know, I feel like Shiloh was playing. I think she feels bad for Tyrone, but I don't think she liked Tyrone that much. So because she cried during the deliberation, that she sat in front of that man and cried again. But you had the power to do something to let him stay. And she sat there and said, well, I just don't know if my feelings will ever grow as fast as yours. It's not about it growing as fast as his. If you still wanted to get to know him, you could have did that. So I think she know he crazy, and she said, this is my out to get rid of him, and she went with it because it made no sense to be crying that much just to not do anything about him going home. She really was. That's
So I had to put the wealth and health note up there. Yes. Okay. So this, I feel like sometimes when a man knows he does that's true. We've always said in different shows that a man picks the a wife where a woman picks who she wants to have sex with. So he has picked this woman, he has made his decision, and he is flying with it. If he stayed, no matter who else he went out on a date with, he was not going to redirect his attention. He'd always be thinking about Shiloh. Shiloh knew that she wasn't there and she was not going to get there. She cried because she was like, Sabrina was like, he hasn't made anybody else's he hasn't made connections with anybody else. He told Carrie left because Carrie you know he made Carrie feel like she had put all her eggs in his basket, and I don't think she did. So she said, you know what, I feel bad for him. I think that it was more like I like him as a person, but I don't see that this is not going to go anywhere. And
right. She
he's
didn't
there.
like him like that.
He didn't
So
like him like that.
that's my whole thing. Like, you didn't need to like mess up your little eyelashes over that. Just say you're not that into him and you don't think it'll ever get to that level. But
I
I think she
agree.
was trying to let him down easy, but we all know you just wasn't that into him.
You just weren't that into him, and she didn't like him like that. And this is an interesting thing. Oh, let me go back because this is we're gonna wait. We got stuff to get into with the next scene. But he said, "I'm so excited for my first date with Shiloh," and I said, "Bruh, you have made this woman your wife, and you guys have only been having conversations on the phone. What is happening? Like, what is wrong with you?" So he was so into her. And also stop with the oversharing. I really hope that this not trains him, but this shows him how to move in the next relationships, because you can't say to Sabrina, Shiloh's my wife. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. And that's another thing. Phil is kind of into Shiloh, but I don't think that that's it's a. I don't think that
Yeah,
there's
it's
anything.
physical to me. It just
It's
seems like
totally
he's
physical.
physically attracted to her. I don't think he's listening to anything that's coming out her mouth. But
So AW said that's why he's off. He decided this woman is his wife, never been on a date, and she don't even like him. Yeah, they've never been on an actual date.
Yeah,
And,
she said
and
this was our first date.
he said
So
he thinks this
between
is
all them phone conversations, you couldn't book an off the camera date with
that's
her. Like,
literally exactly what I was about to say.
this is weird.
Because I we all know that these people have been dating off the camera. So why wouldn't
Mhm.
he just do an off the camera date, even if it was coffee, just do an off the camera date? But he didn't. Okay, here we go into the coup de grace. Oh, thank you, Wealth and Health. Thank you.
Let me see. Did you get it braided?
I got a
Girl,
twist.
what? I just barely noticed. I thought you just had it straight yesterday. How you get your hair done that fast?
I
It
was
wasn't
ready.
done during your panel.
No, this morning. I went this morning. Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Crystal. I just
Thank
noticed.
you, Wealth and Health. I've been talking to Misha for 2 hours and she didn't notice. Okay. So, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Miss Misha Allen because she is somebody that knows how to do the screenshots with these facial expressions. The sad thing is, this facial expression ages him at least 15 years. He looks about 50, 55, 50, 10 to 15 years. Um, he looks annoyed, and I'll tell you why. Because he said, "I thought that you would save me." He thought that Courtney
This he
was
was
like
looking at production.
he was looking
He
at
was looking
production,
at
but he
production
no, that's
like
his thinking face.
production. We had a deal. You said I was gonna stay on till the very end. How am I going home? But I think production would have saved him. He went too far with that mom and dad thing.
Yeah,
That's what put the nail in the coffin. So I think they would have. I think they would have kept him. I think it would have been a one person elimination. But production knew no, everybody's gonna pick up that we keep saving him. So
I think
he
with
had to
these
go home.
eyes, the way he cut his eyes like that, and I think that we're seeing like in his froed the brow. He doesn't look that old. He's only 40, but when he gets, it's just like me. When I start thinking like that, y'all, I get these two lines right here. I think that I think he looks annoyed. I'm like, and just like Mimi said, JJ Evans. So yeah, production. We all said that he's a plant. He
Mhm.
was just moving mad. I think that not just the notes, the mom and dad comment, the too much of a touchy feely. He was just there were too many things, too many little things that, and I think that maybe somebody may not have been somebody on the show, but maybe production saying like he's too touchy feely. Something he had to go
Mhm.
though. He had to. It wasn't it was very problematic. And if he had kept
Yes.
going, I'm actually Courtney, I'm actually surprised. Well, not surprised. The way she was like at that skating rink, and he says, "Am I too close?" And she says, "No." I'm like, Courtney, say you're too close, or say that you're making me a little uncomfortable. Back up, and we as women sometimes we let men get away with stuff because we're just trying to keep the peace or something like that. And
I
say,
think in that situation, I think Courtney just has a lot of pride because he said, "Are you uncomfortable?" And she said, "No, but what do you want in a wife?" Like she was trying to switch it. But I think she did feel he was too close, but I think she was trying to prove that you can't make me uncomfortable type of thing. Like, I'm like, she even calls herself like, I'm a boss, blah, blah, blah. So I think she was I just see like a lot of pride with her. So I think like with Moomin definitely I think felt uncomfortable at some point, but she didn't say nothing because of that doggone tire she was holding up to like some type of gold trophy. So yeah, I definitely think, like I said before, he sees the door cracked and he just busts it open. Like, I don't like that he always is like testing his limits. I don't like that with him. So he should have been went home.
So, Sophie, the notes were nice, but stop lying about the number. But the number one, like you're my
Mhm.
number one. He should have been honest with the women. Not only be honest with the women, but the notes. Sophie, I think that he should have had notes on a one-on-one. Like during his one-on-one date, if he had the one-on-one date with Moomin, like do a scavenger hunt or something cute with the notes. He did not putting those notes around that pool party was very problematic, and also it leaves other people room to uh, plant seeds in the women's head. If you had one-on-one done this one-on-one, it would have been different. But him doing that at the pool party um, just made him look a little bit more sleazy, you know. And so
Mhm.
and I'd actually, and this is so interesting because we always talk about like people blowing up other people's spot, but Tasia called Moomin and told Moomin that he left the notes everywhere. I am actually glad that she did it. And I said, you know, maybe I may be saying double standard or what, but
But Tasia is supposed to have a connection with him too, because Tasia and him were supposed to be going on another date. So I kind of agree with what Stacy said on Kamisha's channel, that it seems a little messy because like your connection should be your connection, there should be theirs. Why is information getting back to them? But in this point, yes, they like, I'm glad they found out that he told both of them
right.
he was going to take them to their parents. But to see it going to her and saying that, I don't know if what her motive was with that.
Yeah, and honestly, that elimination day, I thought that was like so fake. I thought that he was like, "I'm sitting here with a beautiful woman, and I'm almost about to touch her butt." Was he truly asking her out on a date? He would have had to redo that date proposal. He would have had to redo that because that was really kind of sleazy. You look so good
Yeah.
on the second date. It wasn't really, to me. It wasn't genuine. So I feel like he
What did
pretended
you
that he,
think? I want to know what you thought about when he walked up and said, I got another date with Sabrina. I'm so happy. Not Sabrina. What is that girl's name? Courtney.
Courtney. Mhm.
And then he sat down and said, I already knew. I already knew. I
He
already
thought
knew
he
it was
was
going
going
home. I
home.
already knew it was going.
No, he thought he was going home, and then he saw that it was Sabrina because Sabrina is the one that he gave the notes to. So he knew that with his conversation with Moomin, that he's like, oh, they've already talked about this. Moomin's gonna send me home. I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. Then he said, I thought that you would rescue me. I thought that you know, I'm making this
Mhm.
connection with you. He doesn't understand that when you the double talking is problematic. Be genuine. Don't tell two women you want to meet their parents, and you when you want try to make a woman feel special. It's important. We get it. This is a dating show, um, but do it a different way. Do it a different way. It loses its speciality when the way he did it, and he just acts like a kid.
Right.
Yeah. And some people like he's a Kappa, so the dancing and skating and everything to some people that's cute, and I actually didn't mind that. It was going overboard. It was just a lot. He was just a lot, and he was a lot from beginning. He was a lot from
Mhm.
beginning. Tyrone kind of became problematic, whereas Corey was problematic from day one, from the beginning, from the cocktail party.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Tyrone, although I don't like him or all that, I wanted him to stay another episode because I just want to see what was gonna go down. Because as he done proclaimed this is his wife, I just wanted to see what was gonna happen next. So I did want him to stay another episode just to see how would this play out now that he's professed that she is his wife. But
I'll actually agree with you on that because if he had stayed another episode and Shiloh went on a date with Phil, Tyrone would be sitting in the corner and sitting in the back of his closet in the back of the old shoebox, rocking back and forth. So I get you on that. I get you on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see how that was going to play out. Yo, this show, and a lot of people were saying that. What did you think about them bringing? I'm trying to go to the new people. Bringing the new people on. What did you think about that? Did you think that it was kind of problematic, or do you think it was a good thing, Mish?
I think it was beneficial for the men only
Hmm.
because I think a lot of the men are interested in Sydney, but the women, what are they really going to do with Sean? I don't think he's like, I don't know. I don't know who he can really have a serious or genuine connection with. But
I'll
that's
be
it. I
honest.
didn't think it was necessary. Like, they, if I'll just be real, they really didn't have good picks for the season altogether. Like, so maybe they felt it was necessary to throw two other people in, but I felt like they were kind of slacking on casting as a whole, especially, none of them are DC natives, first of all. But I just don't feel it with them. It's giving very like DC rejects as far as like, because I don't feel like a real DC native will probably would want to come on this show. But yeah, I feel like they were already slacking with the casting a little bit.
I actually agree with you. The reason why they brought these people on is Camila was the only one bringing the heat as far, or the tension as far as storyline. So they brought the other two to bring a little bit more tension, a little bit more, more meat to the story.
Mhm.
Also, with Sean, if he wants to really meet somebody, um, a lot of the women are in their 30s. Sean is in his 40s. He wants kids. Some of them
Allegedly.
already have kids. So and I think, I don't know if it was on Kamisha's, but I was saying, in the other shows, in the other pre seasons, we had more closer age ranges. So,
Mhm.
and we were even talking about this earlier for Sean, who all would there be? Tasia, Shiloh. That's it. Tasia, Shiloh. Oh, Zadia. Oh, there's Zadia and Moomin. So maybe Zadia or Moomin. But that's
I
it.
don't know if it's me. I feel like they lying about these ages. I don't know if they have them mixed up because Sean ain't giving he giving more 54 than 44. Carrie was not giving 40 34. So I don't know.
I thought
I
Carrie was
don't know what.
36.
Maybe they switched. Maybe they got confused on the age part. But a lot of Walter don't look his age. So I'm like, I don't know if they got confused or like how they misput Aisha's name. I forgot what they was calling her, but they didn't have her name as Aisha. So I'm like, I don't know if these interns are confused and put the wrong stuff on there. But some of the ages ain't adding up. So I
Just like Phil on OWN, I pulled his age, said 51. Turns out he's 36 or 37. So I was like, what are y'all doing? That's why I said there's
somebody
just some PA that's just typing in ages and just messed it up. But I was like, come on, you guys. So I don't know. You have a point. I don't. And even if they did get it right, why did they choose these group of guys with these group of girls? That's my point. Like, why
lied.
were these? Why were these the matches? And so that's why I said this is gonna be another season of non-matches. That's what it looks like to me. She said Walter is a good 52.
He really does though. I'm like, where are they getting these ages from? Like Wikipedia? I don't know where. Yes, I think the interns, I don't know, because
No, you're
they be
right.
messing up on the YouTube. I don't know. Maybe they messed up there too.
No, I was like, Phil is 51. He doesn't look 51, but I don't know if he looks 36 either. So I just think it's really odd that they put these group of women with these group of guys. And um now last week we were like, we were trying to guess his age, and I definitely said between 42 and 45, and turns out he's 44. So, and there's Velcro on his shirt. It's got to be either Velcro or double stick tape.
Velcro.
There's got to be something to keep it open,
Oh,
like that. Some double stick tape or something. There's a PA went like this, whoosh. Did the Superman on him? Yeah, I had to stop. So yeah, this season, I just feel like it's a bunch of like non-matches. But Camille was the only one bringing the heat as far as the controversy. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? He looks 56. He looks 56.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in for our review for this episode. Thank y'all for y'all support and letting us know what y'all thought about this new episode. Crystal, you go ahead.
Thank you guys so much. Thank everybody. Next week is going to be another episode of the All Men panel. So please tune into that. We're going to be doing, don't forget to watch CMK After Dark Friday night.
Ladies Lounge.
Ladies Lounge. So thank you so much. CMK Ladies Lounge. And then Thursday night for Misha and I for Pray For Us at the end of Mavs.
Married at First Sight.
Yes. Oh, we got 2 more episodes. We got the reunion. We got the reunion too. So that's gonna be so that's the end of that. So yeah, we should do a poll to see if we should do next seasons or should we take a break for Married at First Sight. Maybe we need to take a mental health season. You know, a Mavs mental health. I don't know.
I think I need a break from Mavs. I don't want to get too much into it because we're talking about ready love.
Right, exactly. Let's make this thing a thing. We'll stick to what. But y'all, let's talk about it. We'll talk about it next Thursday. But thank you guys so much. We'll be doing, there's more to come with Ready to Love. Thank y'all. Good night.